Ladies and gentlemen, listen carefully. Greatness doesn't belong to the chosen few. It belongs to the relentless. If you want to become the best at anything, there are 10 unshakable laws. Master them, and the world cannot deny you. First, you must possess a burning desire so strong it consumes your every thought. Without obsession, mediocrity will chain you forever. Second, define your goal with crystal clarity. Vague dreams produce vague results. The best know exactly what they want, and they lock their eyes on it. Third, discipline is your sword. Daily, relentless, unforgiving discipline. Without it, your desire rots into fantasy. Fourth, build specialized knowledge. Not shallow learning, not scattered wisdom, depth. Be the one who knows more, understands deeper, and moves sharper. Fifth, persistence, unbreakable persistence. Fail 1,000 times if you must, but refuse to retreat. The world eventually bows to the one who refuses to quit. 6, faith. Believe in yourself before a single result appears. The mind must accept victory long before reality delivers it. 7th, surround yourself with power. No one rises alone. Find mentors, allies, warriors who fuel your vision and destroy your doubts. 8, take decisive action. Stop waiting. Stop overthinking. The greatest winners move fast, adjust fast, and win fast. 9th, master yourself. If your mind is scattered, your emotions uncontrolled, your habits weak, you will never dominate. Self-mastery is the throne from which all greatness is ruled. 10th, commit to never-ending growth. The moment you think you've arrived, you've already begun to fall. The best are never satisfied. They rise higher every single day. So hear me now. If you want to become the best, these are not suggestions. They are laws. Embrace them, live them, breathe them, and you will not just compete, you will dominate. The stage of life does not reward the weak. It crowns the relentless. Decide today, will you live as average, or will you rise as the best? Burning desire is the birthplace of greatness. Nothing powerful has ever been achieved without it. The best in any field are not casual players. They are consumed by an obsession, so fierce that sleep, comfort, and distraction become secondary. When you truly want something with the fire of life itself, every excuse burns to ash. That desire becomes the fuel that drives you through storms, through rejection, through failure, and through pain. Without it, you are like a ship without sails, moving only where the current takes you. With it, you are a force of nature, unstoppable, undeniable, unbreakable. Desire is not weak wishing. It is the fire that will either consume you or elevate you, depending on whether you dare to feed it every single day. But desire alone is never enough. You must shape that fire into a definite goal. Vagueness is the graveyard of dreams. If you say, I want to be successful, you've already lost, because the mind cannot chase smoke. You must know exactly what you want, the number, the skill, the outcome, the vision so vivid you can see it before it exists. The best are not guessing their path. They are locked in on a clear target that refuses to let them sleep peacefully until it is theirs. Every great achievement was born because someone dared to decide precisely what they wanted and refused to compromise. Desire and goal together are useless without discipline. Discipline is the bridge from thought to reality. It is waking up when you don't want to, working when your body screams for, rest, staying focused when the world dangles every distraction before you. Talent without discipline is wasted. Desire without discipline is fantasy. Discipline is the test of seriousness. It separates those who want from those who will. The best in the world are not always the most talented, but they are always the most disciplined. Knowledge matters, but not scattered, shallow knowledge. Specialization is what builds champions. Learn deeply, not broadly. Anyone can know a little about many things. The best know more than everyone about one thing. They go deeper. They study harder. They push past surface learning into mastery. When you hold specialized knowledge, the world has no choice but to pay attention. That depth is your edge, your weapon, your advantage over the masses. Even with knowledge and discipline, the journey will crush the weak unless persistence stands tall. Every path to greatness is littered with failures, rejections, and defeats. But persistence is the unbreakable will that says, I don't care how many times I fall, I will rise one more time. The best do not quit because quitting has never been an option. They see failure not as a wall, but as a stepping stone. Each setback sharpens them, strengthens them, prepares them. While others surrender, they endure. Persistence is the armor that carries you through every battlefield. None of this matters if you do not have faith in yourself. Faith is the invisible force that commands reality. Before you win, you must believe. Before the results appear, you must see them in your mind and feel them as already yours. Doubt kills dreams faster than failure ever could. The best carry an unshakable certainty that no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it becomes, they will succeed. That faith becomes magnetic. It draws people, opportunities, and victories toward you. But no one rises alone. The lone wolf may survive, but the lion with a pride rules the jungle. Surround yourself with power, mentors, allies, visionaries who sharpen your mind and ignite your fire. The wrong crowd will drag you into mediocrity, but the right environment will accelerate your climb. You become like those you associate with, so choose warriors, not complainers. Choose builders, not destroyers. Choose giants, not the small-minded. Even with the right circle, nothing replaces decisive action. The best are not thinkers who never move. They are doers who move before perfection. They decide fast, act fast, adjust fast. Overthinking is the grave where opportunities are buried. While the average man debates, the great one executes. Speed of decision, courage of action. This is how the best separate themselves from the rest. But to rise above all, you must master yourself. Your greatest enemy is not the competition. It is your own mind. If you cannot control your thoughts, your emotions, your habits, you will forever be enslaved by them. Self-mastery is the highest power. To remain calm in chaos, to stay disciplined under pressure, to silence. Doubt when it screams loudest, that is the essence of greatness. Win the battle within and the outside world becomes yours. And finally, the best never stop climbing. Growth is endless. The moment you declare yourself the best, you begin to decline. True mastery is not a destination, but a journey without end. Every day they sharpen their skills, expand their vision, and rise to a higher standard. The world changes, the game evolves, and only those who keep growing remain untouchable. So listen closely. These are not suggestions. They are laws. Burning desire, definite goals, relentless discipline, specialized knowledge, unbreakable persistence, unshakable faith, powerful associations, decisive action, self-mastery, and never-ending growth. 10 pillars of greatness. Live them, breathe them, embody them, and you will not just be good, you will be the best. The question now is not whether these laws work. The question is whether you have the courage to live them with everything you are. The stage of life will not reward the half-hearted. It will not crown the hesitant. It will only kneel before the relentless. Decide today whether you will remain ordinary or rise to become the best at anything you choose. A definite goal is the foundation of all greatness. Without it, you drift. Without it, you wander in circles, working hard but arriving nowhere. Every man and woman who has risen above mediocrity has done so because they fixed their eyes on a single target and refused to look away. The world is filled with people who wish, who hope, who vaguely want something better, but very few have the courage to define exactly what they want. A definite goal is the difference between a scattered spark and a blazing fire. It takes your energy, your focus, your life force, and channels it into one direction with unstoppable power. Vague intentions create vague results, but a goal carved into your mind with clarity becomes a command to your soul, a blueprint that reality eventually bends to obey. Think about it. How many dreams die because they were never made specific? People say, I want to be successful. What does that even mean? Success without definition is a moving shadow you can never catch. The best do not chase shadows. They lock their sights on something measurable, something clear, something they can see before it exists. They don't say, I want more money. They say, I will earn this amount by this date through this plan. They don't say, I want to get better. They say, I will master this skill, reach this level, perform at this standard. Specificity sharpens your vision. It transforms your desire into a living order your mind cannot ignore. A definite goal does something remarkable. It reshapes your mind. Once your goal is clear, your subconscious begins to search, to filter too. Attract the ideas, the people, and the opportunities that align with it. Suddenly the noise of the world begins to fade, and patterns start to appear. The same world that looked random begins to reveal doors. And those doors open only because your mind is now tuned to your destination. Without that clarity, those doors remain invisible. You walk past them every day, blind to your own opportunity. With clarity, you see what others cannot. But clarity alone is still not enough. A goal demands commitment. Once you fix it in your mind, you must sign a contract with yourself that says, no retreat, no surrender, no excuses. A definite goal has to burn itself into your identity until quitting becomes unthinkable. When the goal is only a wish, obstacles destroy you. But when the goal is definite, obstacles are nothing but steps on the road. A person with a clear and burning goal can endure storms that would crush the ordinary. When you set a definite goal, you also set a standard. You draw a line between what you will accept and what you will never tolerate again. You tell yourself, this is where I am, but this is where I must go, and I will not stop until I stand there. That standard begins to kill laziness. It kills distraction. It kills weakness. Every choice, every habit, every action is now filtered through the question, does this bring me closer to my goal, or does it waste my time? Suddenly your life sharpens. Your hours become weapons. Your energy becomes too valuable to throw away on things that do not serve your mission. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack intelligence, not because they lack talent, but because they lack focus. They are scattered across too many desires, chasing too many things, constantly changing direction. But the best choose one mountain and climb it with all they have. They know that mastery comes from concentration, not from chasing every shiny distraction. A definite goal anchors you to one path. And when you stay on that path long enough, with enough force, the peak becomes yours. Every victory in history began with a clear decision. Nations were built because leaders defined a vision. Fortunes were made because men and women locked on to a clear target. Champions were crowned because they dared to declare exactly what they would achieve. Look at the lives of those who inspire you most. You will see not luck, not randomness, but a definite goal pursued with relentless energy until it became reality. The world respects the decisive. It rewards the ones who know where they are going. Indecision kills time, drains energy, and leaves you with regret. But decision, strong, bold, unshakable decision, creates momentum. Once you declare, this is my goal, you ignite a fire inside yourself and around yourself. People sense certainty. Opportunities flow to certainty. Life itself bends to certainty. The universe is harsh to the unsure, but bends to the determined. So if you truly want to become the best at anything, carve your goal into your mind so deeply that nothing can erase it. Write it, repeat it, visualize it until you can feel it as if it already exists. Let it haunt you, let it pull you, let it demand from you the discipline, the action, the persistence needed to achieve it. When you wake, let it be the first thought. When you sleep, let it be the last. When you act, let it be the compass guiding every move. A definite goal is not just a destination, it is transformation. It turns the ordinary into the focused, the dreamer into the achiever, the wanderer into the master. It is the sharp edge that cuts through hesitation and fear. Without it, your life is scattered energy. With it, your life becomes a force of unstoppable momentum. So decide. Decide what you truly want. Decide the mountain you will climb, the crown you will wear, the victory you will claim. And once you decide, never look back. The world belongs not to those who merely want, but to those who know with absolute clarity where they are going and who refuse to stop until they arrive. Relentless discipline is the iron backbone of all greatness. Without it, even the brightest desire collapses into nothing. Even the clearest goal fades into dust. Discipline is the law that separates the dreamer from the doer, the talker from the conqueror, the ordinary from the extraordinary. You cannot be the best at anything without the ruthless control of your actions, your time, and your mind. Talent will betray you if discipline does not guide it. Passion will die out if discipline does not fuel it. And opportunity will pass you by if discipline does not prepare you. Relentless discipline is not about comfort. It is about command. Command over yourself, command over your habits, command over your destiny. Every day the world tests you with two choices, the easy path of excuses or the hard path of discipline. Most choose easy. That is why most remain average. Discipline is hard, but it is the only road to mastery. To become the best, you must be willing to do what others refuse to do. Wake earlier, work longer, sacrifice comfort, push past boredom, reject distraction. There is no greatness without these acts of self-imposed war. The best don't rely on motivation because they know motivation fades. They rely on discipline because it endures. Motivation asks, do I feel like it today? Discipline says, I don't care how I feel, I do it anyway. Think of every champion you admire. Do you think they became the best because they worked only when it was convenient? No. They built unbreakable routines, rituals so strong they became second nature. They trained when others slept. They studied when others partied. They sharpened their craft while others wasted their time. Greatness is not a gift, it is a price, and discipline is the currency. Every rep, every page, every hour of focused labor compounds into excellence. The undisciplined man can only watch and envy, while the disciplined one reaps the crown. A relentless discipline also demands sacrifice. You cannot cling to weakness and rise to greatness at the same time. Discipline forces you to cut away the habits that poison your progress, the endless scrolling, the wasted conversations, the meaningless distractions that steal your hours. The undisciplined call it sacrifice. The disciplined call it liberation. Why? Because every bad habit you destroy frees up energy, focus, and time for your goal. You cannot serve two masters. You either serve your excuses or you serve your mission. Discipline is choosing your mission every single day. It is also the weapon against chaos. Life will always throw storms at you, failure, doubt, loss, pain. Without discipline, you will break. With discipline, you stand firm. Discipline anchors you when motivation disappears. Discipline keeps you moving when your body screams to stop. Discipline is a silent voice that says, do it anyway. And that voice is what separates champions from quitters. Understand this, discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Freedom from weakness, freedom from regret, freedom from living as less than you could be. The undisciplined believe discipline is a prison, but the truth is the opposite. Indiscipline is the real prison. It chains you to mediocrity, to wasted years, to potential that never became reality. Discipline, on the other hand, opens the gates to power, control, and achievement. The man who has mastered himself through discipline is the freest man alive. Relentless discipline also creates trust in yourself and in others. When you are disciplined, you know you can rely on yourself. You know that no matter what happens, you will act, you will execute, you will show up. That self-trust builds confidence. People around you begin to trust you too, because discipline is rare and powerful. A disciplined person is seen as a leader, as dependable, as someone who will get it done. That reputation compounds into influence, respect, and opportunity. But discipline is not built in a day. It is forged through repetition. It begins with small acts. Waking up at the time you said you would, finishing the task you promised, resisting the temptation that tries to seduce you. Each small victory builds muscle. Each act of discipline strengthens the chain. Over time you transform. You are no longer controlled by impulses, you control them. You are no longer a victim of laziness, you destroy it. Discipline grows until it becomes your identity. And once discipline becomes your identity, nothing can stop you. To reach the highest level, discipline must become relentless. It cannot be on and off, conditional or temporary. The best are disciplined not when it is easy, not when they feel like it, but all the time. Relentless means no excuses. Relentless means no compromise. Relentless means even on your worst day you still deliver. That kind of discipline makes you unstoppable. It builds consistency so powerful that results are inevitable. While others fluctuate, you rise steadily. While others quit, you keep going, and that persistence compounds into greatness. The truth is simple. You cannot cheat discipline. You either pay the price now or you pay it later in regret. And regret is the heaviest debt a man can carry. Discipline is hard, yes, but regret is unbearable. Discipline demands effort, but regret demands your soul. Choose wisely which weight you will carry, because one leads to mastery, the other to mediocrity. So remember this, relentless discipline is the ultimate equalizer. It doesn't matter if you're not the most talented, the most intelligent, or the most gifted. Discipline can crush all of those advantages. The disciplined one, though ordinary in talent, will always defeat the undisciplined genius. Why? Because consistency beats brilliance when brilliance is lazy. The world does not reward potential. It rewards execution. And execution is born only from discipline. If you want to be the best at anything, make discipline your religion. Let it guide every decision, every action, every hour of your life. Let it carve away your weakness and sculpt your strength. Let it harden your will until nothing can bend you. Because when desire fades, when goals feel distant, when pain becomes unbearable, discipline remains. And it is discipline that will carry you across the finish line, crown you with victory, and prove to the world that you were not just another dreamer. You were the relentless one. Specialized knowledge is the blade that cuts through mediocrity. General knowledge may entertain. It may make you look smart in conversation, but it will never make you the best at anything. To rise above the crowd, you must go deep, not wide. The average man skims the surface of many things, but the master dives into one thing until he knows it with such precision, such command that no one can compete with him. Specialized knowledge is power refined, concentrated, and sharpened into a weapon. The man who possesses it becomes indispensable. The woman who owns it becomes untouchable. Generalists are forgotten, but specialists dominate. Look around you. Every empire, every invention, every breakthrough was born from someone who knew one subject more deeply than anyone else dared to. The doctor who saves lives is not the one who casually studies medicine, but the one who digs into years of focused practice until his skill is unquestionable. The athlete who breaks records is not the one who dabbles in 100 sports, but the one who commits to mastering his discipline with relentless obsession. The business titan is not the one who knows a little about everything, but the one who specializes in a field until the world bends to his expertise. Specialized knowledge creates authority, and authority creates power. But understand this, specialized knowledge does not fall into your lap. It is not handed to you because you wished for it. It is earned, painfully, deliberately, through hours, years, even decades of focused effort. It requires study, practice, correction, and refinement. It demands humility, the willingness to admit you don't know enough yet, and the courage to keep learning until you do. While the masses waste their time on trivial distractions, the future masters are locked away digging deeper, sharpening their edge. That is why the crowd admires but never equals them. Specialized knowledge is also not static. It is not about learning once and then resting. The best never stop upgrading, never stop refining, never stop seeking the hidden layers others overlook. Knowledge evolves, industries shift, the world changes. The specialist who rests on yesterday's skill will be overtaken. The one who stays hungry, who keeps sharpening the blade, who keeps moving deeper while others grow lazy, that one becomes untouchable. Specialized knowledge is not a trophy. It is a living fire that must be kept burning. But why does specialized knowledge create such power? Because the world rewards value. The marketplace does not care about effort. It cares about results. And results are born from skill. If you can do something few others can, you are valuable. If you can solve a problem that others cannot, you are irreplaceable. Specialized knowledge makes you a problem solver at the highest level, and problem solvers are kings in every field. Look at the wealthiest, most powerful, the most respected. They are not random. They are individuals who knew one thing so deeply that people had no choice but to turn to them. The tragedy is that most people never commit to specialization. They scatter themselves across too many interests, too many distractions, dabbling in this, sampling that, never going deep. They fear the discipline of focus. They fear the boredom of repetition. They crave variety but sacrifice mastery. And so they remain average, knowing a little, achieving little, forgotten easily. If you want to rise, you must resist this weakness. You must commit to depth over breadth. The shallow stream makes noise, but it is the deep river that carves canyons. Specialized knowledge also builds confidence. When you know that you know, when your understanding is so solid that no one can shake it, you walk differently, you speak differently, you act with certainty. People feel it. They trust it. They follow it. Confidence built on shallow knowledge is fragile. It cracks under pressure. But confidence built on mastery is unbreakable. It turns you into a leader, a guide, a force that cannot be ignored. Do not confuse specialized knowledge with formal education. Many of the greatest masters never sat in classrooms long enough to be handed diplomas. They built their education themselves, chasing the knowledge they needed, practicing it until it became part of their nature. Specialized knowledge is not about collecting degrees. It is about collecting skill. The world will not ask what paper you hold. It will ask what value you deliver. And value comes from mastery, not from certificates. So how do you gain specialized knowledge? You choose your field. You commit. You dig. You study when you are tired. You practice when you are bored. You repeat. Until your hands, your mind, your very soul carry the imprint of mastery. You learn not only from books, but from mentors, from failure, from direct experience. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every setback a sharper edge. Specialized knowledge is not memorization. It is transformation. You don't just know it, you become it. And once you have it, protect it, refine it, monetize it. Use it to solve problems bigger than yourself. Specialized knowledge is currency far more powerful than money, because money can be taken, but true mastery cannot. Specialized knowledge creates money, creates opportunity, creates influence. It is the one asset no one can steal, the one weapon no one can dull except you. Remember this, in a world drowning in noise, specialists rise like giants. They are the few who dare to go deep when the many remain shallow. They are the ones remembered, respected, rewarded. If you want to be the best at anything, stop scattering your focus. Stop being a jack of all trades. Choose your battlefield. Commit your life to mastering it. Let your name become synonymous with excellence in that field. And when you do, the world will not just recognize you, it will depend on you. Specialized knowledge is the difference between being another voice in the crowd and being the voice the crowd waits to hear. It is the bridge between mediocrity and mastery. It is the foundation upon which greatness is built. Go deep, master your craft, become the authority, and watch the world bend to the power of your knowledge. Unbreakable persistence is the fire that refuses to die. It is the stubborn will that stands tall when the world tries to break you. Talent may give you a head start, luck may give you a moment, but only persistence gives you the crown. The best are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who never stay down. Every master you admire, every champion you respect, every legend you know, was once knocked to the ground, rejected, laughed at, doubted, defeated. But they had one weapon the crowd did not: persistence that could not be killed. Persistence is not about speed. It is about endurance. Anyone can run fast at the beginning when excitement is high and the path looks easy. But when the road stretches long, when the nights get darker, when the failures start piling up, most people quit. The persistent one keeps moving, step by step, day after day, year after year. They refuse to let go. They refuse to surrender. And while the world forgets the quitters, it bows to the one who endured. Failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Every failure gives you data. Every rejection shows you the cracks in your plan. Every setback strengthens your spirit. But only persistence allows you to collect those lessons and rise stronger. Without persistence, failure is the end. With persistence, failure is the beginning. The persistent do not cry at closed doors. They keep knocking until it opens, or they break it down, or they build a new door. That relentless refusal is what turns ordinary men into giants. Look at the stories of greatness, inventors who failed thousands of times before they created history, leaders who were crushed in defeat before they rose to power, athletes who lost again and again before they wore the gold. The pattern is always the same, unbreakable persistence. The weak quit too soon, but the strong endure until destiny surrenders. Persistence is not glamorous. It is not loud or beautiful. It is gritty. It is painful. It is filled with lonely nights when no one believes in you, when even you begin to question yourself. But persistence whispers, one more try, one more step, one more day. That whisper is the voice of greatness. Most ignore it. The great obey it. The truth is, life will test you. It will not hand you your dream easily. It will throw barriers, betrayals, losses, and delays. And each test is asking one question: do you really want it? The weak say no and walk away. The persistent say yes and keep going. And those who keep going prove themselves worthy of the reward. Unbreakable persistence is also about vision. When you can see the goal so clearly that no setback can blur it, persistence becomes natural. The best hold the image of victory in their minds even when their reality screams defeat. That vision pulls them forward like gravity, no matter how heavy the weight of failure becomes. Without vision, persistence fades. With vision, persistence becomes unstoppable. But persistence requires courage. Courage to face humiliation, courage to risk again after loss, courage to keep moving without guarantees. The world admires success but mocks struggle. To persist, you must be willing to be misunderstood, underestimated, even ridiculed. You must be willing to look foolish before you look brilliant. Most are too afraid of this pain, but the persistent embrace it, knowing it is the price of greatness. Persistence also creates momentum. At first, progress is invisible. You knock and nothing moves. You push and nothing shifts. But persistence compounds. Every small action adds weight. Every attempt builds pressure until finally the wall cracks, the resistance breaks, and victory explodes. To the outside world, it looks sudden, but you know it was persistence, stacking brick by brick until the breakthrough was inevitable. Understand this, persistence is rare. That is why greatness is rare. Most people can work hard for a week, for a month, maybe even a year. But few can keep going for 5, 10, 20 years without reward. That is why persistence is the ultimate filter. It separates the serious from the shallow. Crowd gives up. The persistent rise alone. And when they stand at the top, everyone calls them lucky, forgetting the years of refusal to quit. So, if you want to be the best at anything, burn persistence into your identity. Make quitting impossible. Commit so deeply that there is no plan B, no retreat, no way back. When you fall, rise. When you fail, learn. When you lose, try again. Train your mind to see every obstacle as a test, every defeat as feedback, every delay as preparation. Persist until the goal has no choice but to yield. Unbreakable persistence is not optional. It is the price of greatness. Without it, talent rusts, knowledge fades, and desire dies. With it, even the ordinary can rise to the extraordinary. The persistent man is dangerous because he cannot be defeated. You can slow him, you can wound him, you can delay him, but you cannot stop him. He will keep coming until the victory is his. So decide now, will you quit like the many, or will you persist like the few? Will you allow failure to bury you, or will you use it as the foundation for your rise? Remember this truth: the path to mastery has only two outcomes: those who gave up and those who persisted. The world forgets the first, but it crowns the second. Be the one who persists, be unbreakable, be relentless, and greatness will be yours. Faith in self is the root of all achievement. Without it, every plan collapses, every effort crumbles, every dream dies. Before the world can believe in you, you must believe in yourself. The greatest victories in history were born long before the results appeared. They were won in the mind of the one who refused to doubt. Faith in self is not arrogance, it is certainty. It is the inner conviction that says, no matter how impossible this looks, no matter how long it takes, I will find a way. Without that unshakable belief, the first setback will crush you. With it, you can endure storms that destroy the weak. Every action you take is guided by what you believe about yourself. If you secretly believe you are not capable, your effort will be half-hearted. Your courage will vanish and your results will match your doubt. But when you believe, truly believe, that you are destined to rise, your effort multiplies, your courage sharpens, and your results follow your conviction. The world bends to those who carry certainty. You can see it in their eyes, hear it in their voice, feel it in their presence. Faith in self radiates power, and power attracts victory. But faith in self is tested most when you are alone, when no one claps, when no one encourages, when the voices around you tell you to quit. It is in those dark hours that belief becomes everything. If you do not have faith in yourself, you will give up. But if you do, even when the world doubts you, even when your own results betray you, you will keep going. And persistence born from faith eventually forces the world to acknowledge you. Faith in self is also the cure for fear. Fear paralyzes the weak, but faith turns fear into fuel. When you believe in yourself, you no longer wait for perfect conditions. You move, you act, you fight. You are not afraid of mistakes because you know you can correct them. You are not afraid of failure because you know it cannot destroy you. Fear loses its power when faith in self takes control. The best in the world feel fear like everyone else, but their faith is stronger than their fear, and that is why they act while others freeze. The truth is, no one will hand you belief. The world will not give you confidence. It will try to take it away. From the moment you dream bigger than the crowd, you will face critics, doubters, and naysayers. They will tell you it cannot be done. They will laugh at you, question you, and try to pull you down to their level. If your faith in self is weak, you will collapse under their words. But if your faith is unshakable, their doubt becomes noise, their laughter becomes fuel, and their resistance becomes proof that you are on the right path. Faith in self does not mean you know every step. It does not mean you see the full road ahead. It means you trust yourself enough to take the first step and then the next, knowing you will figure it out. The greatest builders, inventors, leaders, and fighters did not wait until they had perfect certainty. They moved with faith. They trusted their ability to learn, to adapt, to grow, to conquer. That trust gave them courage, and that courage gave them the victories others only dreamed about. But faith in self is not something you say once. It must be built and strengthened daily. You build it by keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you will do something, and then you do it, your faith in yourself grows. Every time you endure difficulty and come out stronger, your faith grows. Every time you face fear and act anyway, your faith grows. Over time, that faith becomes unbreakable. You begin to trust yourself at the deepest level, and that trust becomes your greatest weapon. Without faith in self, you will be enslaved to the opinions of others. You will hesitate, waiting for permission, waiting for validation, waiting for someone else to believe in you first. But the truth is, no one can give you belief. It is forged within. It is chosen. And once chosen, it cannot be stolen. With faith in yourself, you no longer need permission. You move. You no longer need applause. You progress. You no longer need guarantees. You create your own destiny. Understand this: doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. A man who doubts himself is already defeated before the battle begins. But a man who believes in himself cannot be defeated, because even if he falls, he rises again, armed with faith that tomorrow he will conquer. Faith is the invisible foundation upon which visible success is built. So decide now, will you allow doubt to control your life, Or will you build unshakable faith in yourself? The crowd will always doubt. The critics will always speak. But the great ones walk forward anyway, guided by a belief that nothing can break. That belief is the force that opens doors, moves mountains, and creates miracles. Faith in self is not optional. It is mandatory. Without it, you will always be at the mercy of fear, of failure, of other people's opinions. With it, you are unstoppable. You will face storms with courage, face rejection with persistence, and face obstacles with certainty. And in the end, faith in yourself will be the reason you win while others quit. So stand tall, look within, and declare to yourself, I believe, I will rise, I will conquer. No matter what comes against me, I will not break. Because faith in self is not just a mindset, it is the foundation of greatness. And those who carry it will always rise above those who do not. Surround with power, and you will rise with power. No one climbs to the top alone. No one becomes the best in isolation. Your environment is shaping you right now, either lifting you higher or dragging you lower. Show me the people you spend your time with, and I will show you your future. If you surround yourself with the weak, you will inherit weakness. If you surround yourself with the lazy, you will absorb their excuses. But if you surround yourself with the strong, the ambitious, the relentless, you will be forced to rise to their level or be left behind. Power is contagious, and so is weakness. That is why the best protect their circle like treasure. Think carefully. Every conversation you have, every influence you allow into your mind is either sharpening you or dulling you. The crowd spends their time with gossip, complaints, and small talk. The best spend their time with visionaries, warriors, and builders. You cannot feed your mind garbage and expect it to produce greatness. You cannot walk with doubters and expect to build unshakable faith. You cannot surround yourself with mediocrity and expect to rise above mediocrity. The energy of those around you becomes your energy. The standards of those around you become your standards. And if your circle is weak, your future will be weak too. Surrounding with power is not about numbers, it is about quality. One powerful ally is worth more than 100 aimless companions. A mentor who believes in your vision, a peer who challenges your excuses, a partner who pushes you harder. These people become fuel. They give you perspective when you are lost. They give you courage when you are afraid. They give you accountability when you are tempted to quit. Alone, you are vulnerable. With power around you, you become unstoppable. But here is the truth. To attract powerful people, you must first become powerful yourself. The strong do not waste their time with the weak. The ambitious do not align with the aimless. If you want to walk with giants, you must rise to their level. You must demonstrate hunger, discipline, and vision. You must prove you are serious, that you are willing to pay the price. The best are drawn to energy that matches their own. So before you search for powerful allies, build yourself into one. Then the right people will come, not by accident, but by alignment. Surround with power also means cutting away the dead weight. This is the hardest part for most people. They fear letting go of old friends, old habits, old circles. But you must ask yourself, are they pulling me forward or are they holding me back? If the people around you are constantly doubting, constantly complaining, constantly distracting you, then they are chains around your ankles. You cannot fly while carrying chains. You cannot rise while clinging to those who refuse to rise with you. Surrounding with power requires courage. The courage to walk away from those who drain your strength, even if they are close to you. The truth is, weak associations cost more than you can imagine. They cost your time, your energy, your focus, your future. Every hour spent with the wrong crowd is an hour stolen from your destiny. But the right associations multiply your power. They inspire you, they challenge you, they stretch your vision, they remind you of who you want to become, and they demand that you rise to that standard. This is why the best are relentless about their circle. They know their future depends on it. Even history proves it. Every empire, every movement, every revolution was not built by one man alone, but by a circle of powerful allies united in vision. The leader may wear the crown, but the strength comes from those around him. The same is true for you. You cannot build an empire of one. You need power beside you, behind you, around you. And when you surround yourself with the right people, you multiply your strength beyond measure. But remember, power is not just about skill. It is about mindset. Surround yourself with those who think big, who dream without limits, who see possibilities where others see obstacles. Their vision will infect you, expand you, force you to break free from the small thinking that keeps most people trapped. If you stay too long around the small-minded, you will shrink without even noticing. But if you stay long enough around the great, you will grow without limit. Surrounding with power also means protecting your inputs. It is not only about people. It is about what you read, what you watch, what you listen to. Every book, every video, every voice that enters your mind becomes part of your circle. Are you feeding your mind with wisdom or with noise? Are you letting your environment build you or destroy you? Discipline your inputs, and you will discipline your future. In the end, this truth is inescapable. You cannot soar like an eagle while walking with pigeons. You cannot rise to greatness while surrounded by mediocrity. The people around you will either poison you or push you. They will either bury your dreams or breathe life into them. The choice is yours. Build your circle with intention, surround yourself with power, and watch your life transform. Because when you stand with the powerful, you are not just one. You are many. You are lifted by their strength, sharpened by their wisdom, and fueled by their fire. And in that environment, greatness is no longer a possibility. It is inevitable. Decisive action is the sword that cuts through hesitation and forges destiny. Every second you wait, every moment you delay, you are handing victory to your doubt and power to your fear. Life does not reward the hesitant. It crowns the decisive. The difference between the average and the extraordinary is not intelligence, not talent, not luck. It is the speed and certainty of their decisions. The great ones move while others hesitate. They strike while others analyze. They commit while others are still questioning. And because of that, they win. The mind is a battlefield. Fear whispers, wait until the time is right. Doubt whispers, what if you fail? Comfort whispers, stay where you are. It's safe here. But greatness does not wait. Greatness does not listen to fear, doubt, or comfort. Greatness acts. It is decisive action, not perfect planning, that builds empires. Plans without action are just paper. Dreams without action are just fantasies. Desire without action is just wasted energy. Only decisive action transforms visions into reality. Think about it. Every opportunity has an expiration date. Every moment carries a window that will close whether you act or not. The world does not pause for your hesitation. Someone else, hungrier than you, braver than you, is ready to move. And if you wait, they will seize what could have been yours. That is the brutal truth. Opportunities are not lost. They are simply taken by those who act faster. If you want to be the best, you must train yourself to act with speed and conviction. Decisive action does not mean recklessness. It means clarity and courage. The weak wait for all the answers before moving, and so they never move. The strong act with what they know and adjust along the way. No one ever started with a perfect plan. No one ever had all the information. Victory belongs to those who step into the unknown, not those who hide behind analysis. The best make decisions quickly, and they change them slowly. The weak make decisions slowly, and they change them quickly. Which one are you? Every giant leap in history was born from decisive action. The first man who dared to build a ship and sail beyond the horizon did not wait for guarantees. The inventors, the leaders, the revolutionaries, they acted when others laughed, doubted, and mocked. They did not wait for permission. They did not wait for certainty. They moved. And because they moved, they created new worlds. You must adopt the same mindset. You must learn to say, I will act now. Or not tomorrow, not someday, not when everything is perfect, now. Understand this. Hesitation is death to progress. Every time you hesitate, your dream fades a little. Every time you delay, your fire cools a little. And eventually, hesitation kills your vision completely. Action, on the other hand, ignites momentum. One decisive step leads to another, and soon you are moving with unstoppable force. Momentum is the ally of the great, and momentum is only born from action. The first strike creates energy, the second builds rhythm, and before you know it, you are charging forward with a power that no one can stop. But decisive action requires courage. The courage to be wrong, the courage to fail, the courage to face uncertainty. And this is why most people never become the best. They wait for safety. They wait for guarantees. They wait for the perfect time, which never comes. The best understand that failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Failure teaches. Failure refines. Failure prepares you for victory. Inaction teaches nothing, builds nothing, and leaves you empty-handed. You would rather act and stumble forward than stand still and watch life pass you by. Decisive action also means cutting off all other options. The root word of decision is to cut. When you decide, you cut off hesitation, you cut off excuses, you cut off retreat. You burn the bridges behind you so that the only way is forward. That is why decisive people win. They leave no room for weakness, no space for backtracking. They say, "This is the way," and then they march it until victory is theirs. The world respects action takers. People trust the decisive, follow the decisive, reward the decisive. Nobody follows the hesitant. Nobody believes in the wavering. If you want to lead, if you want to inspire, if you want to dominate, you must master the art of decisive action. Your energy, your conviction, your certainty, it becomes magnetic. It pulls others into your vision and forces circumstances to bend in your favor. But here's the key. Decisive action is a habit. It must be trained. You cannot wait until the big moments to learn it. You must practice it daily. Decide quickly. Act immediately, whether it is in small choices or great ones. Train your mind to move fast, and soon it becomes your nature. And when the great opportunities appear, you will not freeze, you will strike. Remember this, the world is full of dreamers, but it is empty of doers. Dreamers wish, doers act. Dreamers